This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Oh, you didn't know? I'm back. It's going to be a Big Tyme Rants. We're going to talk about Alexa Bliss. We're going to talk about SummerSlam. We're going to talk about The Rock. We're going to talk about Matt Cardona. And we're going to talk about so much more. AEW Dynamite, big business tonight. We're going to discuss that. Stay with me. Somebody let them know that I am here with another Big Tyme Rant right here on the Value of Wrestling, right here on YouTube. I am the Big Tyme, and I'm here with the Big Tyme Rants. We're going to discuss several things, but first, let's get into it. Alexa Bliss is regarded as one of WWE's beloved superstars who has been absent from television for some time after announcing her pregnancy last year. However, there's been speculation about her potential return for months. Now, Bliss has finally responded. In a Q&A session that she conducted on social media, the former WWE Women's Champion was asked by fans if she had plans on returning to the WWE after an extended hiatus, and Bliss set the record straight and took to her X to respond to fans with a clear three-letter message. Yep. Yes. Alexa Bliss and her husband, Ryan Carrera, welcomed their daughter into the world last year, becoming parents in the process. However, since then, the fans have been eagerly awaiting Bliss's return, particularly with SummerSlam 2024 now scheduled to take place in Ohio, which is Alexa Bliss' hometown, with the former champion also adding fuel to the rumors recent. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we will see Alexa Bliss's return at some point. Could it be around the time we go into SummerSlam? Could she make a pie's return at SummerSlam this year? We're just going to have to wait. See. From there, we have The Rock proclaiming himself as a final boss ahead of his SmackDown appearance. He will be on SmackDown again this Friday. The Rock has embraced the fans' rejection and sided with the iconic cousin Roman Reigns in his bloodline, and their war against the man Roman Reigns will face in the main event of WrestleMania 40 Night 2 for the undisputed WWE Universal title, Cody Rhodes. Not only that, The Rock and Roman themselves will be teaming up to face Rhodes and his ally Seth Rollins at the main event of Night 1 at WrestleMania 40. The Great One has been a regular part of WWE's televised program in the last couple of weeks. His latest appearance this week on SmackDown. Last week, of course, he got smacked by Cody Rhodes, and he will be in Memphis, Tennessee for this one. He took to Instagram to post a video of his new entrance and proclaimed himself the final boss. It definitely felt like a final boss video. If you haven't seen the new entrance of The Rock, you're missing out. But The Rock's going to be at SmackDown this Friday in Memphis, Tennessee. He's calling himself final. Matt Cardona, formerly known as the Zack Ryder, has revamped himself from being a WWE mid-carder to emerging as one of the biggest stars on the independent scene, much like Cody Rhodes. However, he has made it evident on numerous occasions that his goal is to return to the global juggernaut and conquer that mountain. Recently, he named one particular scenario that he would like to make a WWE comeback. The man we've known around the indie scene as the Indie God took to X and announced that he would love to have a return promotion to be the final opponent of John Cena. He said, "I'd come back for that." On Twitter, he was asked by Wrestling News, if John Cena retires next year, who should be his final opponent? Well, Matt Cardona said, "I'd come back for that." Could we see Matt Cardona, long time friend with John Cena, be that last opponent for John Cena? Could we see the Indie God turn to WWE and make headway, make a big splash? Could he change it all up? We will have to see. SummerSlam's coming up fast, just as fast as WrestleMania, as WrestleMania is just right around the corner. And after that, we head off to the hot summer, and we are going to look at SummerSlam. For SummerSlam this year is going to take place on August 3rd, as the Bash of Berlin is going to take place on August 31st, if I still recall that correctly. So SummerSlam is going to start the hot season of August. Like the Bash of Berlin will close us out and head us into the fall season. But where is SummerSlam going to take place? Well, on Logan Paul's show, Impulsive. It was a major announcement that came out that fans were eagerly awaiting the news, and they would not be disappointed, as WWE's second largest PLE would be taking place in Cleveland, Ohio. Logan Paul being from Cleveland, Ohio. SummerSlam has been held in some of the most great arenas. The stadium is its 36 years of history. It's been a long time since any type of event like this has been in the city of Cleveland, and Cleveland will rock Cleveland Browns Stadium on Saturday, August 3rd, as Cleveland will be the center of the summer. The SummerSlam comes to Cleveland, Ohio, Cleveland Browns Stadium. This is going to be raucous. We know Logan Paul is from Cleveland. We know Johnny Gargano is from Cleveland. Alexa Bliss is from Cleveland. And even The Miz is originally from Cleveland, even though he is living Hollywood. But yes, it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Summer in Cleveland. Get ready. Get excited. August 3rd. Summer of summers. What an exciting time. WrestleMania in Philadelphia. SummerSlam in Cleveland. I don't know why I'm going Chicago. Of course, we know in a couple weeks WWE Raw is going to be live in Chicago. And who's going to be there? CM Punk making his return after taking surgery. We get to see CM Punk at Monday Night Raw. Should be interesting to see how that plays out. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is a big, big night. And it's either going to be a hit or a miss for Tony Khan and AEW. As we have looked at the reviews for last week's show, and I'm going to pull it up here to go over that briefly. We look at last week's show with an average viewership of 779,000 viewers, down 5% from the previous week and down over average. And this week we are bringing the biggest AEW Dynamite in a long time. It's AEW Dynamite, big business, a lot of speculation. A lot of rumors circulating. Big business is supposed to be boss business. Boss business is supposed to be the one, the only night for Mercedes Moné. Now, AEW over the last couple weeks has debuted, or at least debuted official roster members in the likes of Will Ospreay. Yes, we've seen Will Ospreay wrestle on AEW TV and AEW pay-per-view events, but this was his first official debut as a full-time member of the AEW roster. And then this week, the week that we're looking at the ratings for last week, March 6th, was the debut of Kazuchika Okada as a full-time member of the AEW roster and not a member of the Japan Wrestling. And that overall, with even his name on the bill, brought us in 779,000 viewers on average, down 5%. The show started hot with 930,000, dropping down to 785,000 within the first 15 minutes. From there, it dropped down to within the next 15-minute segment to 792,000, and then down to 779,000 at the hour. As the hour changed over in the debut, Okada appeared. It looked like everybody came back because a huge jump came at 865,000, and after that, pretty much falling off to 726,000, with a small bump in between the 9:30 and the 9:45 hour at 747,000, ending within the last hour with the Will Ospreay Kyle Fletcher match, the last 15 minutes, with that 7-minute overrun, averaging 654,000 viewers. Not a whole lot of people seeming to be interested in the Will Ospreay Kyle Fletcher match. But tonight's big business. Will big business make a big business? Will they bring in the viewership that they need to make this feel important? Or are people going to tune in and tune out at each segment? Are we going to wait to see? Are people only going to wait to see how Mercedes Moné is brought in? People are debating. Will Ospreay looks hot, but Kazuchika Okada kind of feels flat. Some people think they brought Okada in the right way on his first night, and they debuted him on the next match, but it felt like they fell short without announcing it or pushing it or getting any attention that they needed on Collision for the in-ring debut of Kazuchika Okada as a full-time member of the AEW roster. It's going to be interesting because it's big business tonight. And bringing in Mercedes Moné, there is rumors that Britt Baker may be making her return. We know that she seems to be cleared and ready to come back. She is ready to get back on that mic. Could we see something happen between Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné kicking off the new era here in AEW? Is this the direction we're going to go? It's going to get very interesting. And of course, me and Mr. Paulus Clark will be right here later tonight doing a whole post-show review of AEW Dynamite where we break everything that went down on that show, how it all played out. So make sure you come back for that. Ring that bell for notifications so you'll be notified when we go live or any new content comes up. I am putting out content. My boys are putting out content. Content is coming out of the woodworks, ladies and gentlemen. We are hitting 500 uploads a day, and we'll be celebrating a lot of that on Sunday. We are going to keep putting out content, posting videos. We're going to bring all the best stuff that we can, whether it is simply your weekend preview where Mr. Clark breaks down everything that's going on in the upcoming week of professional wrestling, or whether it's me with a Big Tyme Rants, or whether it's Miguel Z with his New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound, where he breaks down everything going on in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So if you're not a New Japan Pro Wrestling fan, go over there, check it out. You might just like it. Or if you want to know who some of these guys that are coming over from New Japan that are showing up in AEW, you want to learn a little history about them, well, that's your place. Go check out Mr. Miguel Z over there with the New Japan Rebound podcast every Tuesday. So that's up there. Of course, every day of the week, you're getting this date in wrestling history. We bring you some interesting facts of events that happened on this very day in wrestling history. That is always on a short that comes up every morning. We are on episode 161 of that. We're 161 days, 62 days into it. We're going to go 366 this year because it's a leap year, bringing you all the content there. But check that out. There's also video game reviews on the channel. I just talked about the Dark Side of the Ring. That's a new program we're going to do. We're going to start reviewing TV shows that talk about wrestling and movies. If it's associated with wrestling that's not a pay-per-view event or a wrestling event, then we're going to have some reviews and shows on those things, so check those out. Lots of stuff coming. We're trying to grow, develop, and we're going to move forward. New development. But AEW big business. It should be big tonight. The debut of Mercedes Moné in AEW. How will she be receptive by the AEW audience after recent comments that her plan is to go back to WWE? Will they love her? Will they hate her? Will they accept her? Do they care? What is Tony Khan's feelings about this? It's all going to play out tonight on AEW Dynamite. So make sure you're watching that. Make sure you come right here after that to join us and nobody else as we review the post-show, as we do the post-show review of AEW Dynamite. We're going to break it all down. You're going to want to be here. You're going to want to find out what we think, how we felt about what went down on the show. You can always join in the discussion when we are live and tell us how you felt, whether you agree or disagree with our statements and ideas. Make sure you're here for all that. Always drop your comments below. Make sure you get this a thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We're getting real close to 300. 1,000 is our next is our major goal, but we are close to 300. If we can get those next few people, we could be sitting at 300 before, hell, today ends this weekend. Who knows? Join us. Become part of the Value Wrestling. We're the fastest growing podcast, and we are here to be contenders, not pretenders, and that's a guarantee. I will see you on the next one on the Big Time. I'm out.